All right, so we'll be having a review of some past questions. I actually got this from the uh, your current preparatory quiz, that quiz. I got some of this question from there. So I've already selected the answer because of the recording purpose, and I will also explain why I choose those answers. Some of them might be straightforward, so we might just skip to the next one. So the first question I'm confronted here is that it says which of these is which of the following is mandatory for to become a FIFA member association? As I already shared with you, as for example, maybe a country gain an independence and there are different associations organizing football in that country. FIFA may not recognize all of them, but for that country to become a member of FIFA, to be part of FIFA, to be participating in all FIFA competition, it must be proven that that particular football association, it has the responsibility to organize and also supervise football in that country entirely without any form of restriction or competitiveness from any other party. So they have the right, they organize football all around, and they have the right to partake of everything that they need to do. So we understand that first, look at the options here now available. The first one is that the association must be responsible for organizing and supervising football in its country. Then the second correct answer is that the association must also be a member of a confederation. So, for example, if a country, let's say there's a new country in Nigeria today, let me not say Nigeria, there's a new country in Africa, just like the way South Sudan came up recently. So, before South Sudan was recognized by FIFA, before they were able to join FIFA, first they will be admitted to CAF. So it is CAF that will make recommendation on their behalf. Okay. So if they are not connected to CAF, are not affiliated to CAF, they cannot be given that recognition. Even in the member association level, it is expected that each club, for example, in Nigeria, each club must be affiliated to their state FA before they can do anything directly with the NFF. So the NFF cannot just recognize a club. Maybe even Enyimba, as big as Enyimba now, Enyimba is not recognized directly unless the club is introduced through the Abia State Football Association. So those are their members to NFF. NFF recognizes the state FA just the same way CAF recognizing the MA and FIFA also recognizes the MA. So if you are faced with this kind of question, the answer to these questions is A and D. Okay, A and D. Number two, a player who was previously registered as a professional with a French club is registering as a professional with an Italian club. We're not talking about the EAA EU exception now. Okay, in order to receive training compensation, the French club must prove now one, it offered a new contract to the player at least 60 days before the end of the contract of at least an equivalent of the player's current contract. Then D, although it did not offer a contract, if the French club can provide justification that is entitled to such compensation, then they will get that compensation. So the answer for question 2 is C and D. Number 3. Now, which of the following natural and legal persons? This is very straightforward. I already told you that the people that are not third party is the player himself, the two club that is transferring the player, and the player's former club. Any other person is a third party. The player agent is a third party. The player coach is a third party. Another player other than the player being transferred is a third party. The player's parent is a third party. The player club president is also a third party. So now in this question, now you see in this context, the only person that is not a third party in this question is the player former club. The player former club, if not the agent, investment fund, other club that the player have never played for before are all third parties. Okay. All right. So let's run. In view of the financial hardship, Red FC needs some liquidity to pay player salary and also to engage new players. So maybe they approach an investment fund, or let's say a bank, as the case may be, that like investing in football club. Now, the question is, which of the following solution is not permitted by the FIFA regulation? Which of them, that is to now say, okay, this is how we are going to pay back the money you are investing in our club? The only solution is that they can assign any other income generating mode to the investment company, but not any on players, not any on the economic rights of a player. So you can see now, all the question now, you can see Red FC can say, okay, the money we derive from selling our JC, we'll use it to pay back the loan you are giving to us to pay salary. FIFA does not have issue with that. Okay, the money that we will get from gate taking, buying tickets, people that will buy tickets to watch our game, FIFA does not have issue with that. Okay, the money that they will be paying us from our broadcasting of our games, FIFA does not have issue with that. The only issue FIFA will have is telling the investment club that, okay, this is our top striker, you will be entitled to 10% of the transfer fee that will accrue automatically. That is a third party ownership already. So that particular solution is not permitted. So the answer for this now is A. Now, as I told you before, during the course of your exam, be very, very sure of your answer. Like this now, you can see this question, they say select one or more. Select one or more, somebody might be confused. And maybe after selecting A, now I might want to select C, for example. Please take note, select one or more does not automatically mean that the answer is more than one. Sometimes the answer is just one. Okay. Number 5, it says, which of the following clauses in a rep agreement is non and void? So what it means is that if you even include it in the rep agreement, it cannot stand. Okay. A clause that states that the service fee is 1%, that does not matter. That is depend. You can even say, as I told you before, I've actually entered into an agreement and I said that the service fee with the player is 0%. I don't really want anything because what the player is about to earn there is very, very meager, very, very small. Okay. So when you say it is 1%, it does not make it not avoid. Okay. The thing that actually make the clause that make the rep agreement non avoid is a clause that automatically extend the contract, and also a clause that says that a player cannot represent himself, or if he represents himself, there will be a fine. That is null and void. Okay. All right. A clause that says that the representation agreement will be drafted in Arabic is nothing at all. It's just about in a language preference. So that is not a justification that we bring about the nullity of that agreement. Okay. So the right answer for number 5 is B. Okay. They can decide to pay in any currency. That is not a breach of the requirement. Question 6. Now, which of the following items or pieces of information regarding a football agent needs to be included in a transfer agreement where one of the parties have been represented by that football agent? Normally, I told you that when a football agent is representing any party, his name and his license number must be on that agreement. So in this case now, license number. So Letter from confederation is not important. Copy of passport is not important. Passport photograph is not needed from the football agent. Now, number 7, who needs to provide a copy of rep agreement when requested to do so by a client? You, the agent that have given the agreement to the client to sign, you have the right, you have the obligation to provide a copy to the client. Either an individual or a club is your role. All right, number 8. It says in the context of first registration of a professional player, training compensation is due. Now let's look at this very well. To at least the last 2 clubs. No, this player is registering for the first time as a professional. So training compensation will be due to every club which have previously registered the player in accordance with the player's career history as stated in the player passport. Now look at the C. The C is similar, but look at how, because some people, because of haste, please, I want to appeal to you during this exam, make sure you read the option to the end. Don't assume you just know it and choose. Okay? Some people, because of haste, they might likely choose C. They will just say, oh, to every club which the player has previously registered in accordance with the player history has stated the transfer market. They might not take note of the transfer market and that has computed to their training starting from the calendar year of age 12. If you notice C and D, the only difference is transfer market and player passport. So if you are in haste, you might likely choose C and you would have failed the answer. All right. Number 9. It says which of the following statements are true regarding the maximum length of a contract? I told you before now that a maximum length as allowable before FIFA is 5 years. And also, contract that is exceeding 5 years, it must be consistent with the national law. That's why in England, you can hear that a player signed 7 years because the law that is operational in England allow contract to be as long as that period. And also, the minimum length of a contract is until the end of a season. So what it means is that, for example, let's say a league is on and the season will end next week. A player can actually join the club today just to play the last game for them. It's allowed. Okay? Minimum length of a contract is until the end of that contract. So in this question now, what are the statements that are true? Contract exceeding the mandated limit are recognized by the national law, correct? The maximum length of a contract is 5 years, correct? Number 10, it says, on which of the following laws do FIFA judicial bodies primarily base their decision? Is the FIFA statutes and regulation. Okay? Any other law that is operational in that law court that recognizes it. So the FIFA judicial body, they work with only the FIFA statutes and regulation. Okay. Number 5, 11. It says, which of the following activity constitute football agent services? As an agent, organizing trials with club is your activity. Negotiating the termination of a professional contract is your role. C, negotiating with a coach for a client to be called up to a national team, that is not your role. Representing a client before a football tribunal, no. You must not be a football agent before you can represent a client before a football tribunal. So it is not your football agent services. So it's like, for example, now I do represent players before the FIFA football tribunal. So I'm not doing it as a football agent services. So that one now is not subject to the cap of 3% or 5% because it's like another services I'm rendering entirely. Question 12. As a football agent, do you have a duty to report a situation you identify as affecting the well-being of a child? Yes, it is your duty in line with the FIFA Guardian 2. So anything affecting a child or a vulnerable adult, it is your duty to report. Number 13. Which of the following persons may not be a football agent? As I told you before now, an amateur player is also equivalent to me and you that play ball for fun. So we are qualified to be an agent. But an amateur coach is not qualified to be an agent because he have influence on coaches, on the players. So he might have to coerce them against their will to be their agent. So an amateur coach, a professional player cannot be a football agent. Now, what is the maximum duration of a rep agreement between a football agent and an individual? It is 2 years. Okay, it is 2 years maximum, but the maximum duration of a rep agreement between a football agent and a club or a member association or a single entity league does not have limitation. It's only an individual, talking about a player or a coach, that have a limitation of 2 years. Please take note. All right, number 15. Diop is a 15-year-old footballer from Senegal who would like to become a professional. His father always had big dreams of becoming rich. You can see the motive now. So the father contacted someone online who claimed to be a football agent and has contact with European club. Adio's father was so excited that he paid that person he contacted online $3,000 without even seeing any document that confirmed that that person is an agent. Okay. Adio argued with his father, say, why will you go and do this kind of thing? Because he do not want to go. Because his club already advised him that that person cannot be trusted because he's like a fake agent. However, the father forced him to travel. So in this context, now what seems to be the father priority is quest to become rich. Because I believe that when Adiop is now a professional player, he will be any big and he will take care of him. So C is the answer. Number 17. Now, what is the minimum length of a player? Okay, I've already explained this, so no need. Until the end of the season. D. Okay, until the end of the season. Number 17. Now, Lucio is a midfielder from Colombia wishing to play professionally abroad. He is unemployed currently, does not have a contract with any club, so he's free. On the last day of the transfer window, Lucio got an email from Green Lakers in Switzerland with an offer to play for them. And he has been asked to send his signature within 3 hours. However, his agent, who he already have an exclusive representation agreement with, is not picking his call. Maybe he has gone on vacation or he went to church like me. He's in church program and he's not picking call. He will be in the church program for like 5 hours. So what will Lucio do? Given that he's okay with the contract, Lucio can represent himself. Okay? He does not need to terminate his contract with Gusto. So, but Lucio will have the liberty to either pay his agent, what's that called now? Commission or not, because in this instance, he represented himself and even the club contacted him directly. Okay, so the answer is D, he could represent himself. Number 18. After a meeting with a potential client, an agent indirectly learns that several players have been placing bets behind closed door to maybe prearrange the outcome of some matches, like match fixing. So what kind of sanction can be imposed on that agent if he do not report immediately? A ban of at least 2 years and also a fine of at least 15,000 Swiss francs. Number 19, if a bank account, okay, I think this is what I just taught you now in the clearing house. Is a bank account necessary to pass the compliance assessment? Yes. Yes. Okay. Now look at the first option now. In case if you do not read it to the end, you might likely pick it. He say yes, and it must be in the name of the club seeking the service of clearing house or in the name of a close affiliate. As I taught you, the bank account must be in the name of either the trading club or the paying club? So look at the correct answer, which is B and D. Yes, the clearinghouse will only accept payment of training reward through a bank transfer from a bank account. Then D, yes, and it must be in the name of the club seeking the services of the FIFA clearinghouse. So you cannot say, okay, you have a club which is known as Myron Football Club, and they say, okay, submit accounts to receive training reward. You are now submitting Ed Ogbemudia Football Club. FIFA will not pay that money. Certainly, you will fail the FIFA compliance assessment. Number 20, the last verse. I say last verse as if I'm preaching. Okay, Rio is a 20-year-old player that was born in Brazil 4 years ago. He played 2 matches in an official competition at A International for Brazilian national team. But now he wishes to play for Portugal. The player's paternal grandmother was born in Portugal and was granted Portuguese nationality at birth. Now, which of the following is applicable to the as related to the ROGS? Okay, FIFA status, that's talking about application of the status now. The answer here is that first, the player fulfills that exception under Article 9, Paragraph 2C of the ROGS, but only if he has never participated in any of the football at any international level. And also, the player is currently tied to the Brazilian sporting nationality after playing for them on 2 occasions. Okay, so this we have come to the end of this question review. Please, as I advise you, please make sure you do the practice. If possible, do it 3 times in a day. 3 times in a day. I assure you, you will be getting exposed to fresh question in each attempt. Okay, so that's all for today. Few minutes for questions so that I can allow you to digest what I've shared with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have
Thank you,
any
sir.
question, you can unmute and ask if at all.
Thank you, Ogo.
Okay. For those writing in Nigeria, I hope you have paid your 300,000 and uploaded on that link.